So the Oklahoma City Thunders dropped game one against the Denver Nuggets. We knew that there was going to be growing pains for Oklahoma City going into this. Heavily favored team to try to make it to the finals. But we do understand that in terms of playoff experience, you're looking at guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, Lou Dort. In terms of playing experience in the playoff, it's still a fairly young team. So we knew there was going to be growing pains in this. Now, Oklahoma City led this game for the biggest part of it. But what we have to understand is, like, if you're going back into your locker room and you're the OKC coaching staff, you're telling your team, like, okay, these are all things that we can control going down the stretch. And this was basically little things that we could have done to maybe manage the game a little bit better. Especially playing against the Denver Nuggets, what we're going to see is Jokic is, especially down the stretch, it's going to be Jamal Murray and Jokic in actions together, right? So we have Jamal that took this screen, nothing there, and they know who to look for. Ball's going to go to Jokic, and we saw it in the last series versus the Los Angeles Clippers. Jokic operates from the free throw line area, and from there he makes plays. Most teams are now starting to let him try to go one-on-one, try to let him score because we know of his passing ability. So that is a pretty good defensive possession for OKC. Maybe the biggest adjustment that you could do in that situation is maybe not have Alex Caruso on him, put somebody that has a little bit more resistance, right? So you see here, OKC, it's a 4-point game. You're up under 2 minutes, and we're going to take this shot, and this is where we talked about the youth. If you are Chet Holmgren in this situation and you try to lob it back up, you lose it, and then Denver's going to call a timeout. Now, understanding time and score, you're up 4. You do a really good job. You got to make a high percentage play, right? You do a good job of getting the offensive rebound. So it's either you make sure you come down and you kick the ball back out and we run some more clock, or you really have to just go up there wanting to finish it. Here, he kind of tries to tip it up in the air, and we lose possession in this situation. So in terms of a swing, now you're down 1, and you could have, because Jokic just hit a 3, so you could have been up 6. But now you're up 1. Little concepts that they could do. You see these things in the film room. Another concept right here. We're going to see Shai's going to get the ball. Ball's going to go to Jalen Williams. Boom. Miss a shot. Right? Now, offensively, you have to look for especially when you need to score with under a minute left. Very simple concept in the game of basketball right here. When you draw 2, when 2 go to the ball, and Shai does his job, he draws 2 players. So he does the right pass to Jalen Williams. In this situation, Jalen Williams has to know where every single one of his players are, because when 2 players go to the ball, that forces the third player, which is Jokic right here, to have to rotate. You are now in a situation that on the catch, you have the advantage. So it's got to be either a catch and shoot or a quick decision. In this situation, he decides to drive it, but now you drive it to an area where now Jamal Murray is able to stunt and is able to guard Caruso and guard the ball as well with this little stunt. So you never want to give the help defender a chance to be able to guard 2 players at the same time. And in this situation, Jokic is beat, but now Jamal Murray is able to guard both Caruso and guard Jalen Williams. In this situation, what needs to happen is, if I am Jalen Williams and I know that Shai is going to have the ball, In this situation, I have to be understanding that on the catch, I have to make a quick decision when I get it. So when this happens right here and 2 go to the ball, you got to make this pass to Caruso right here. Because then what ends up happening is that makes big man right here, Isaiah Hartenstein, he's just going to go to the front of the rim. And then that would have been an easy basket because now you have Jamal Murray. There's no bigs in the paint. No rotation. So here it should have went here quick and then big man has to relocate to the front of the rim. That would have been a dunk. So whenever 2 players draw to the ball and you are the next player, you got to make a quick decision. You can't hold the ball or you can't re-drive it into a crowd. But here, you drive into a crowd, 3 players, Denver gets the ball, and we don't make the most out of this situation. There's another situation where, again, Denver is going to put their 2 best players in action. You get what you want. You're going to get Russell Westbrook shooting. Okay? We're going to load up. Westbrook has it. Westbrook has to shoot it with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Now, weak side. If you are Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the shot's coming from this. We know that a high percentage of shots, if a shot is coming from this side, ending on the other side, we know that the ball is most likely going to end up on the other side. Shai doesn't do a good job of boxing out right here. So the first player to hit, right? 0 on Denver Nuggets hits, and then it's a loose ball over here. We get lucky, they don't score, but again, these are things that are fixable. You could go back, you watch the film, and this is stuff that you can fix. So if you're OKC, you don't want to be too down on yourself because even for 12 seconds left, you're in the 4th quarter, you're up 1. Really good execution. We're off this screen. They're going to get a layup because 2 are going to go with Chet. Get a layup, you score. Now, this is where it gets tricky, okay? So, Jokic goes to the line and makes 2 free throws, right? Chet now has to make 2. This is where we talked about there's going to be growing pains, right? Chet misses the first one. Now, communication has to happen early. It is a 1-point game. In this situation, if you are OKC, you are talking and saying that, okay, with 9 seconds left, you want to keep all the action in front of you. Okay? What I mean by that is you don't want to give up an easy shot. What I'm communicating to my team in this situation is that with 9 seconds left, and I know that the Denver Nuggets now have to try to go score quickly, and nobody has no more timeouts. This now becomes a transition opportunity, but from a set play. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. This becomes a transition opportunity. So even if the play is basically stationary right now, the time that is left on the clock makes this a transition opportunity. Transition in the sense that Denver is going to go fast. So if you are Oklahoma City, you have to send bodies back. On the miss of the free throw right here, it makes no sense for Oklahoma City to have 4 players inside the opposing three-point line. Because now what kills them is this right here. On this quick outlet, boom, you now have 3 players behind the ball. Aaron Gordon is on the weak side. And the most dangerous player on Oklahoma City in transition, the most dangerous player for the Denver Nuggets in transition is Russell Westbrook. Because he's so quick and he puts a lot of pressure on the rim. Have to make sure that you understand those concepts because Westbrook creates opportunities out of nothing, which is what he does here. He puts pressure on it, 2 players draw to the ball, and then heartbreak in Oklahoma City because they scored. They don't have any timeouts. they're not able to score, they're not able to set up a play, and then you lose off that shot. So, a lot of growing pains. But if you are Oklahoma City, you understand that this is going to be a long series. Denver takes game one, but you go back with a lot of positive, and you look to bounce back for game two.